Hey everybody! Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Things have been going okay. We got astronauts back. It took a while. We have them, they're at like great levels. I mean, look at this. 3 level 1 pilots, that's fantastic news. We're gonna do some things in this episode we probably should have done for a while. I mean, plant flag on Minmus is a contract that we can accomplish like immediately, I think. Forget about satellites. Forget about parachute, forget about satellites for now. We have other contracts. Plant flag. But we forgot to plant it when we were there. Okay, well, I mean, we can land on the moon, no problem. Explore Minmus still has to be done. But we just have to return to Kerbin from an orbit of Minmus, which doesn't seem that bad. We can plant flag on Minmus. I think we can actually accomplish that, like, literally right now by going to our tracking station and, flying as whoever this person is that I can't remember. Yeah, they're not trapped in orbit, so, do we... Wait a minute. I thought we had someone left on Minmus, but we don't. Okay, so let's try to land on Minmus again. It'll be good practice, and we'll also try to return from Minmus, and beyond that, I have some... I mean, I've got to plant the flag. Oh, hey, thanks for the subscription, Jaw and GC. And then beyond that, I've got to, oh, Jesus, what have I done? Beyond that, I've got to, make some changes to my rocket design, I think it's fair to say. So, we have the same contracts. Thanks for the autosave. We'll try to rescue people in orbit eventually, but that requires docking, which, dude, I mean, first off, ha ha ha. But secondly, oh, Lord, I'm a little frightened by the concept of that. So, we're on, Moonlander auto-saved ship. Not auto-shaved ship. It's different altogether. RCS ports do nothing for us right now. We need to put them higher up on the rocket. The other, well, one of the many other things is we could probably now get rid of this crew capsule because we're not using this as a... Well, you know what? Let's get rid of it and then save it as, Moonlander, no rescue. And we'll just call it, we're not even going to call this lander anymore. We'll call this, you know, Aquemini. And then we should use this is, used for landing on nearish celestial bodies, the moon, Minmus, etc., etc. Not suitable for rescue missions. There you go. I'll name it as such as if I ever intend to use it again. One of the things that has been suggested, and I agree 1,000,000%, is we should use service bays, which I think are in payload? A heat-resistant service bay, ideal for protecting RCS tanks, batteries, etc., etc. So let's try to put this... I mean, it's heat-resistant, so we should put it above the heat shield, I believe. Which... we might have also removed our heat shield, which is my bad, so go temperature, 1.25 meter heat shield, and then we'll move that, and we'll go payload, service bay. Now, I'm assuming that in the service bay, we can place things. But how? Like, okay, well, you know, we took off 8 batteries. We don't need 8 batteries, but we'd probably like to have more of them. Does it just fit? Oh, it fits on like that. I see. So we could fit like 2 battery packs. How much? They give you 200 each? Each one of these gives you 100. Photovoltaic panels will probably want to, you know, deal with eventually, admittedly. So, you know, we can put... I mean, we might be able to put 3 of these bad boys in here, but I'm a little skeptical. I've also heard people suggest that you can put science in these. I guess we could put, like, mystery goo capsules. Well, hear me out here. It needs to be small enough to fit in there. So, like, certainly... It seems like relatively no problem to fit a thermometer, assuming that it'll actually work. Seems like it's relatively no problem to fit a barometer. Oh. And then, I don't know, maybe we can fit, like, a couple of mystery goo boys up here. And it's not nearly as much electricity as we've had before, which could be bad from an RCS standpoint, but I don't know, can we just, like, literally fill this with trash? The only problem is I need to make sure it's still, like, linked up to the rest of the system. I mean, we could also just, I mean, we could hedge our bets. We already have 400 there. If we just put 4 battery packs on this thing, and carry them all the way to the moon, or to Minmus, or wherever we're going, then at least we can still transmit, although these will be dropped before we make it back into the planet. So, let's close this up. What's the idea here? Well, the idea here is that now we have some more science, but it's protected, which I think is positive. Who's gonna fly this bad boy? We also have our more difficult or sensitive parts are contained inside of something that will protect them when we re-enter the atmosphere. That's the game plan anyway, and we can recover science from this. So essentially, this is complete the Minmus situation here. If we could also get a lot of science for that, that would be sweet. But it's another opportunity, I should say, for me as well to learn how to fly a little bit better. Because, like, I'm learning to fly, but I ain't got wings. And honestly, coming back has been the hardest thing. One of the things that has been routinely suggested over the last couple of episodes, which have largely gone okay, in spite of, like, quite a lot of trial and error being involved, is we should try to get a more circular orbit around everything, basically, that we choose to orbit. So, we can slow it down a little bit here. Or at least stop speeding up so quickly. We don't have a need to have an orbit that's so elliptical that the periapsis is like 50,000 and the apoapsis is like 2 million, right? So circular orbits is definitely one of the things that's been requested the most to be worked on, and I think that it's a very positive thing that we could do for ourselves. I wouldn't dispute that in the least. I gotta be honest with you, our gravity turn has gone, like, amazingly here. So let's take a look at this. Our apoapsis is at 23,000 right now. Again, we could fly, I mean, we might as well just go prograde, I guess, but we could fly from the nav ball if we so chose, but I don't think that's necessary right now, although it might be advantageous, admittedly. So that's straight up, I think, the best gravity turn we've ever done. And it's basically been an accident, but hey. So we'll shoot for an apoapsis of around, again, maybe 90,000. We want the flattest orbit we could conceivably get. Did we not recover the Mun? Whoops. 90,000. So again, it might seem like, oh my god, you're like so far behind. It took you so much fuel to get an apoapsis of 90,000. But look at how spread this vector is right off the bat, you know? I think that's a very, very good situation for us. So if we just stay accelerated towards the prograde marker. By the way, flying with Jeb. It's been a while. If we choose to accelerate further towards the prograde marker, it should very easily put us into orbit. And we can approximate that maybe with a maneuver here. Periapsis 76,000, that's fine. Apparently, I was incorrect, and periapsis has to be above 70,000 in order to not decay. Which makes sense. Periapsis now is 90. These are, it's pretty close to a circular orbit. Oh, well, no, it's not, but periapsis of 90. Apoapsis of 180. I mean, we're approaching the periapsis of 80. Apoapsis of 90. It's not quite circular, but it's, like, pretty freaking close, right? Alright, so well, basically right now, we should be accelerating on this maneuver node. So we're probably going to brick it slightly here. I also don't think we have 1 minute and 43 seconds of burn left in this stage, but could be wrong. Hopefully, if we land on Minmus and return, Jeb will be able to have enough experience to hit level 2, and I'm hoping level 2 coincides with the ability to just position yourself automatically via a button at the maneuver node, and as a result, not have to worry about constantly like micromanaging whether or not you're at the maneuver node. But our maneuver node should essentially coincide with our prograde marker for the time being, so we can live with that and be content. Does seem like maybe it was a little bit of an inefficient maneuver on my part, because we are going to run out of fuel. I mean, I don't believe that we have 35 seconds of fuel left here, is what I'm getting at. Apoapsis is 90,000. We haven't quite hit orbit yet. So, I don't know. I thought we had a successful gravity turn, but maybe suboptimal fuel usage or something like that. Not sure. Either way, getting into orbit is the hard part. In terms of, like, the amount of fuel required to be consumed. Coming down is the hardest thing, is what Tom Petty said. But honestly, I'm going to go ahead and say dude's not much of an astronaut. Okay. Decent work. We have a periapsis of 74 and an apoapsis of 101. So we did botch the maneuver slightly, and that's a bummer, but also not that bad. Because we're 4,000 above where we have to be, I guess is the term that I would use. So the next step is, and again, this is mostly coming from a position of ignorance, admittedly, but the next step is getting, and this is the hard part, getting at least into a vicinity of Minmus, which we're now going to set as our target. And the ascending node is 6 degrees, the descending node is 6 degrees, which I think actually makes perfect sense, that they would be the same value. But that's not that far off right now, so I'm pretty happy about that. So let's, we got plenty of time. This maneuver we're not going to do in 2 minutes. Let's be realistic. So, this has been kind of the hard part for me, but I appreciate you having a certain sense of awareness that this is not necessarily an easy thing to accomplish. You know, there's a lot that we've had to learn in the process of this. So, our closest approach, we're off by 8 million, and it's right there. But we're not quite entering its sphere of influence. So maybe if we slow ourselves... No, if we speed ourselves up, that seems unlikely. By the way, what is this line? The white line. Let me know what that indicates, if you please. So our separation, I think, is getting greater here. Possibly indicative of the idea that... Are we just too far below it? We are too far below it. So let's pull this out a little bit. Not trying to get an approach yet, just trying to get closer. So this would put our descending node much closer at about 7 degrees. We're going to pull that out just a little bit so we got a little bit more time. So the descending node, again, is the point at which our orbit is going to go lower than the plane of orbit that Minmus is in. So at our descending node, we would add another maneuver. Pull it up a little bit. And this is where I seem to increasingly find myself in kind of a conundrum here. Well, maybe we should just do our first maneuver. How far away is our first maneuver right now? And is our periapsis decaying? Not yet. We could also maneuver this ever so slightly if we chose, like that. I still think, like... Descending node is 8 degrees. I don't think we want the descending node to necessarily be closer to Minmus, so let's just do this maneuver for 1 here, and then we should be able, because we're not that far away from it right now. We should be able to make this work, I think, at least. So in 7 minutes, we're going to burn for 48 seconds. Recognize, by the way, unfortunately, I forgot to put the RCS ports back on this. For a long time, I was thinking... am I not forgetting something? And the answer is yes. I forgot to put the RCS ports back on this, but I was misusing the RCS ports to begin with. So, is this a case of addition by subtraction? Maybe temporarily, but that's not my intention long term. Alright, so Slow down, slow down, slow down. That was too fast. T-minus 24 seconds we want to burn. $20 seconds. T-minus 24 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Burn. So this will get us into an orbit that has a chance... well, it is an orbit, but... this will get us onto a trajectory that has a chance to make it to Minmus. That's the dream, anyway. Again, without tooting my own horn too much, I do want to point out this is like the fact that we've gotten to this point where we're making it to orbit, possibly getting to Minmus. Easily getting to the moon is a joke at this point. I'm glad we've reached that point. Now we've got to try not to regress. But, you know, I'm probably never going to be the world's greatest Kerbal Space Program player, if that's not obvious, but for this to be routine is very nice. Okay, so we succeeded in that maneuver. Now we're popping out like this. Now the next step is getting into an orbit around Minmus. And this is the hard part. So when we're here, the target position is going to be here. So I think the first thing we need to do is actually add a maneuver that burns us in the blue direction. I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier. Probably just because there were about a million things on the freaking screen simultaneously, so it can be a little difficult for me to figure that out. So now we actually have an approach. Our encounter is in 2 days, 1 hour, 9 minutes, and we leave. So we have about a 25-minute encounter, 35-minute encounter. We could maybe pull that back a little bit and extend the encounter slightly. Oh, okay. So we hit like a peak there, maybe around there. 2 days, 2 hours, 15 minutes. 2 days, 3 hours, 9 minutes. So almost an hour-long encounter of Minmus. But we're missing, at least from my perspective, we're missing the celestial body on the wrong side. So I kind of want to miss it on, like, maybe it's not even worth worrying about. 2 days, 2 hours, 16. 2 days, 3 hours, yeah. Okay. It might not be the most efficient maneuver, but it will get us in contact with Minmus and presumably give us the ability to land. So, in a day, we're gonna burn for 15 seconds. Dude, there's like a metaphor, a heavy, ham-fisted metaphor I've been trying to make in Kerbal Space Program for, like, life. I think, you know, the applications of Kerbal Space Program, obviously it's a cool teaching tool and sandbox from, like, a physics standpoint. It's like space Lego. But at the same time, I think there's something to say about inertia in real life as well. And a lot of people use inertia in, like, a bad way. Like, oh, why'd you keep doing this when you didn't want to? Inertia. But, dude, it takes a lot of motivation, a lot of, you know, inspirational fuel to start learning a skill. Because you're down here on planet Kerb and you're going, oh, I don't know how to fix my car, you know? That's going to be a lot of work. It's an insurmountable amount of knowledge the first time you think about it, right? But then... thank you for positioning yourself appropriately here. You know, once you get up here, once you're like, oh, I know what a carburetor is, I know what an alternator is, we get a little bit further out, it's like, oh, dude, well, this is the specific part you want here, you don't want to use that kind of wrench because you're going to strip the bolts on these models, blah, blah, blah. Now, to learn a new skill because of all this foundational knowledge that we, you know, the investment that we put back here, it only takes a little, and that's enough to get you to learn, like, a new thing. You know, that this is the hard part, but once you get by it, everything else is just a matter of... see, that's what I mean when I say it's a ham-fisted analogy. Anyway, we can go on, like, probably speed 1,000. If we wanted to, we might be able to go on speed 10,000, but, like, let's not be so stupid. So we want it to be, like, an hour... is a second. I think right now it's like an hour is 3 seconds. We can slow it down once we get down to just below an hour, I suppose. Just coming up here. And if you could please be pausing the game now. Good work. 35 minutes. We're going to burn for 15 seconds. Learning these time controls and learning when to be patient with them has also been, like, an enormous help for me. I know it's going to seem like I'm still very impatient, but, like, if you want to sit here real time for 1 day until we reach Minmus, dude, that's going to make it a lot easier to pump out YouTube videos of Kerbal Space Program, I'll tell you that much. But that sort of thing isn't my bag, baby. So we're at 45 seconds. It's going to take us 6 seconds to get to this point, so just hold tight. So we want to burn at about 7.5 seconds remaining. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7.5. There you go. Tomo, now is not really a great time for you to want to escape from the office. I'm just going to level with you. But in mere moments, I will acquiesce to your demands, I promise. And open this door so you may get out. So I think we missed our window to technically have succeeded on the maneuver, but we're in the vicinity of having succeeded. I'm going to take that as a success for now. All right. So we have an encounter in a day. We have about a 38-minute window of being in the sphere of influence of Minmus here. So I'm going to warp to that sphere of influence. To that capture, maybe, if you want to put it that way. This has been a very smooth episode so far when it comes to getting things to work. You know, everything has been okay so far. I didn't realize that Kerbal days were only 6 hours. I know it's kind of a revelation to be having 50 episodes in here, but it's news to me, dude. Alright, so essentially we want to go on like speed -1 when we hit this Minmus encounter. We want to be going very, very slowly. So we want to basically get to periapsis, burn retrograde, and then we should... Well, we need to curve our orbit upwards is actually what has to happen here. So let's go to periapsis. We're going to add a maneuver. We're the purple line right now. Okay, reset that maneuver. That's obviously bad. Yeah, this is the right direction, actually. We must have pivoted in orbit somewhere. Oh, wait. I saw it. There was a brief moment. That's not the periapsis we're looking for. It's like there's a brief moment where we actually collide with the planet here. Or the celestial body. So we've done something weird here. We've gotten captured by Minmus, but like way too low. Maybe the first thing is just extending our Minmus escape. Oh, dude, if we burn I think we can actually make this happen just by burning retrograde. Yep, okay. It's not a circular orbit. Do not get rid of that maneuver. That maneuver's gold. No, you had it. Just hold it there for a sec. We want to decay the orbit. Well, no, we want to circularize the orbit. Maybe we don't care at this point, actually. Sure. I'm going to choose to live with this for now because I know that it's going to at least get us there. So our goal is to land on Minmus. And it should be a lot easier, and I'm not even just saying that to, like, gas you up. It should be a lot easier without the crew module that was previously a necessity. Hey, an update's available for Adobe Creative Cloud. That's great news. I already pay you $12 a month to use Photoshop. Can I add, like, an extra 75 cents in for you to never bother me again? That's a very old man attitude. I'm sorry, but... Look, I'm just putting numbers on thumbnails that my much more talented artist makes me. So, like, I need old man Photoshop. Once I had mastered this programming thing, which, let's be honest, we gotta almost be at the point where we're the best programmers on planet Earth. I mean, I have done it for hundreds of hours at this point. So, I mean, how much more could there possibly be to learn? But I'm gonna make an old man line of software. And this is not meant to be ageist or sexist. I hope to be one of them one day myself. Not an ageist or a sexist, but an old man. It's gonna be Microsoft Word. All you can do is write documents. No, none of that auto-formatting, you know, make tables, make bulleted lists. Now all I need to do is type, have it appear on the screen, save the document, and open documents that I've previously saved. That's all I need. Save the fancy stuff for the eggheads down in corporate. Fancy PowerPoint. And by fancy PowerPoint, I mean old man PowerPoint. It comes with one theme. You type into a box, it automatically creates the slideshow for you. Never fear. Okay, so this is a very, very delicate move. It's actually going to be a lot easier now that we're using our lander fuel. But I'd rather not be using our lander fuel. But hey, you know, another story for another day. Just checking to see if we can do anything here. If we open this service bay, is all of our stuff just going to fly out? Well, no, it's affixed to the batteries, so it shouldn't just fly out. And the batteries are affixed to the ship itself. We got a ton of electric. We've got full electric charge, actually. We've used none of it. Be cool. Be cool. 23 seconds. Burn remaining. We got a lot of fuel in this section. If we strand Jebediah on the moon, that would be a cruel, like, second day back at the office, wouldn't it? Hey, thanks for coming back from the moon after, like, 4 years. Now I've stranded you, like, even further away this time. Okay, great work, team. We're now in orbit. At periapsis, we should decay our orbit, land on Minmus, return, be a happy camper. Okay, crew report, nothing. Open the service bay, see what happens. What's up, guys? Observe mystery goo. Keep it. Dude, we might be able to land it here. So, log pressure data. Keep it. Log temperature data. Keep it. Okay, these are theoretically supposed to make it back. We'll wait until we hit the surface to do some more science with the goo and the materials bay. We'll close the service bay for now. So the next step is essentially just get ourselves pointed retrograde. Warp to periapsis, which is going to be 6 days away. So this is like a miracle in and of itself. I just want to make that abundantly clear. It's a miracle to me that we are able to do this. It wasn't always like this. Alright, now we burn full throttle at retrograde until we're gonna land on the planet. That's fine. We don't want to use too much fuel, right? So now might be a good time for a quick save just to be safe. We now know that all you have to do to land on Minmus is burn retrograde. And if you've selected a decent landing spot, which, I mean, it looks like it's not going to be craggy ground. At first glance, anyway. Essentially, how far away are we from touching the planet? 1 hour, 42 minutes. Well, we can go at, like, times 10 for a bit. Without a doubt. Probably times 50. And times 50 will be landing in less than a minute. So you do want to be a little careful. Keep in mind, to land, what do? You just burn retrograde. It's the easiest job in the world. However, we don't have to burn retrograde immediately. I mean, look at this. We're only going 77. I mean, it's increasing because I'm going on literally 50 times faster than normal speed right now. But we're going to be not going that fast when we reach the surface of the planet. So, or the surface of the celestial body. I also, perhaps, like, naively think that this, lander is capable of landing, like, on the literal peak of Mount Everest, because I, am a little cocky with the fact that it's shaped like just a lovely looking phallus there. So we probably want to land on the lake if possible, because this does look a little rocky, actually. So how would we do that? Honestly, I think if we burn prograde for like a second, it'll probably do it for us. Just landing in the lake seems like a better idea than just kind of guessing where we want to go. And, I mean, even, like, that seems good to me. So now we're going to be, like, really rapidly approaching the surface relative to where we were before. Was it a smart idea? I don't know. But, I mean, I'd rather slow down faster as we reach the ground than, and have it... Wait, what am I trying to get at here? I think it was just sensible to choose the proper place to land as opposed to trying to, you know, cheese the system a little bit. I still think we're probably going to land on the shore, now that I think about it. So, I mean, this might be a good place to look for. First off, get this stuff out here. We should start slowing ourselves down. It doesn't need to be... It doesn't need to be that much right off the bat, because it's not going to, again, take us very much to slow down. Come on. Lander, I'm putting a lot of faith in you here, okay? Yeah, okay, so the changing of our landing position, that was not going to work. And that's my own silliness. I wouldn't use the term stupidity, because there's actually, I think, a good reason that I did what I tried to do there. It just didn't work. Again, like, I'm probably, like, extremely guilty of trying to land far too soon, instead of just waiting until we're, like, you know, 5,000 meters above the surface. Although you never know when you're above the surface in on these landers, because, you know, the lakes are really flat, but, you know, some of these mountain peaks might be like 3,000 meters up, so it's hard to tell. Anyway, I mean, it's very sensible. You just burn retrograde. Forgive me, YouTube, why do you snooze to land retrograde burn? I guess Billy Talent. I don't even think we can speed up now. Do we have enough fuel to make it back? Oh, I'd say like 10 out of 10. Easily enough fuel to make it back, in my opinion. Now, mind you, it's not really a matter of opinion, I suppose, but... Now, we have bricked up a Minmus landing before. And I think the way that we did that was by being a little impatient. And a byproduct of also having picked a pretty terrible spot to land, but... I think by trying to rush it a little bit, we made some mistakes, so... This time, we're just going to take it very, very slow. We've already lost Jeb once. We're not going to lose him again. And I think if we land this would be the smoothest Minmus encounter we've ever had. You know, we, in 2 maneuvers, essentially, we got to Minmus. Coming in a little hot here, as you can tell. Yeah, we botched it. Supposed to be on retrograde, my dude. We botched it, but we didn't botch it by much. Too much, 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 too much. Let's go. Well done, Jeb. Give me a crew report, please. Nothing, huh? Okay. EVA. Let go. Great work, Jeb. And just don't strand yourself on the surface here, please. So we're going to do a couple of things. First, I need you to plant a flag. And this is the story of a girl who cried a river and drowned the whole world. EVA report? Nothing, huh? Take surface sample, dude. Keep experiment. Now, I'm gonna need you to just RCS and acquiesce back into the rocket here. Gotta be a little cautious, clearly. Recover, Jeb. Because, like, a single, like, small hop is like a 30-meter jump. Grab. Okay, he's got it. He's got it. Good stuff, Jeb. Good stuff. Board. Observe materials bay. Recover. Close doors. Then, what else we got going on here? Open. Service bay. Observe mystery goo. Save. I think that's it. So we got a lot of science we're potentially coming back with here. I'm going to end this episode here. We're 36 minutes in. Next episode, a return. Triumphantly, hopefully. Scientific progress, etc., etc. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Relatively triumphant, honestly. Good use of the service bay, I think. We still got a ton of electric charge. We haven't transmitted anything, which makes sense. And a lot of science to return with. Planted a flag on Minmus as well. Hopefully a relatively smooth approach to Kerbin as well. But for now, again, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching. And I'll see you next time.